right now on 5 on Your Side at 10.
Once in a lifetime. I mean, I don't think she'll ever forget it.
Janet Jackson and Nelly packing the house at Hollywood Casino Amphitheater tonight. Our cameras were rolling when the St. Louis rapper helped grant a wish for one special girl.
You got another one? You got another question? Go ahead, shoot for the moon.
After more than 4 decades, a popular festival returns to the Metro East.
And anyone who's played at this festival.
The sights and sounds that you'll find at the Alton riverfront this weekend.
The heat and humidity continue, plus I'll time out when we may see a few showers and thunderstorms this weekend.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Kelly Jackson. Tonight we are still warm and humid, and the hot weather pattern continues as we head into the weekend. Weather First meteorologist Jim Castillo is here. Any break from the heat in sight, Jim?
You know, I wish maybe late next week we'll get a little break in the humidity, but still be in the 90s. And we'll talk more about that in Maine weather. But Kelly, the average high is 87, and we're still at 86 in St. Louis. So that humidity is high and that dew point is rising. So that heat and humidity actually build as we get into Monday and Tuesday. Current temperatures, you know, some of us have fallen back into the 70s, which is great, but a lot of us still in the 80s. And here's that futurecast heat and humidity together as we get into 4 o'clock tomorrow, about 99 in St. Louis, 101 in Crystal City, all of us in the 90s. And then look at this heat index for Monday and Tuesday. This is when that heat really maxes out as we get into Monday and Tuesday. Air temperature about 100, and then that real field temperature over 105 in some cases. All right, so currently we are in the 80s still in St. Louis. So it's all about that heat and humidity. You know, there's some rain chances in here. We'll talk about one this weekend and then one midweek coming up in just a bit.
All right, Jim, and as we deal with this heat wave, if you need help looking for a cooling center near you, just text the word HEAT to 314-425-5355. This weekend, boat and music lovers will get a chance to cool down along the Mississippi River. 2 major events are happening in Alton, bringing powerboat races, blues, and rock and roll to the riverfront. 5 on Your Side's Brent Solomon was there as the city kicked off the festivities.
This is what Dylan Anderson does.
We run 110 to 120 mile an hour.
In town from Nashville, he's competing this weekend for the F1 Powerboat Races Championship, and he's ready.
We go into the turn, no brakes, no nothing. You hit a trim button, dump the air out of the tunnel, and you turn at 120, pull 6 to 7 G's in a turn.
Downtown Alton Friday evening, fans and music lovers gathering to kick off the festivities while meeting some of the drivers that will take to the water.
They get to meet the drivers and put a personality with the boat. 1992 was the last time we raced here.
It will also be the first time for another major event happening once the races wrap up for the day on Saturday.
The original Mississippi River Festival was at SIUE from 1969 to 1980. And so we're bringing it back after 44 years right here on the Alton riverfront.
The festival touted big names back in the day.
There were acts like Janis Joplin, The Who, B.B. King.
Organizers say it's time to bring the music back. Saturday, Grammy Award winner Larkin Poe will take the stage following other musical acts.
Tyler Bryant, The Shakedown, Fastball, which a lot of folks remember their big hits from the 90s, and then St. Louis's own Feel is opening. 2
big events making their big return, with the Mississippi River offering the backdrop for family-friendly fun.
It's great for the economy.
I can't think of anything better than like high-volume motorsports and high-volume rock and roll.
Brent Solomon, 5 on Your Side.
The powerboat races start at 9 tomorrow morning. They will continue through Sunday. Musicians will begin performing at the Mississippi River Festival at 6 tomorrow night. Tonight, a man is charged after a road rage shooting in Webster Groves. Police say 27-year-old Tyree Goolsby shot a BB gun at another driver Wednesday night on North Laclede Station Road near Newport Avenue. The victim told police Goolsby swerved into his lane and the driver honked his horn and let Goolsby pass. They say he pulled out a gun and shot twice at his car, shattering the passenger window. The victim called police, who quickly tracked the vehicle and suspect.
We did have officers in the area at the time. We have something called the flock system, camera system that we use. So through investigation, we were able to identify the suspect driver within minutes.
Goolsby was charged yesterday with harassment, property damage, and armed criminal action. Police say if you find yourself in a road rage situation, pull over in a well-lit area, call 911 immediately, or drive directly to a local police department and do not engage with that individual. Now to an update on the Eureka couple who were stabbed while at a rest area in Nebraska. Gary and Mary Weaver were attacked in their RV Wednesday during an attempted robbery. Gary died. His wife was taken to the hospital. Family tell us that she is doing better and could come back to St. Louis tomorrow. 22-year-old James Thompson Jr. of Ohio is charged in the stabbings. New at 10, the Wentzville School District has appointed an interim superintendent. Hours ago, the Wentzville Board of Education announced Brian Bishop as its next superintendent for the upcoming school year. He had been serving as the co-interim superintendent since April of this year, when Dr. Danielle Tormala announced her sudden resignation. Bishop takes over the post July 1st. Also new at 10, cuts are coming to Lindenwood University. Hours ago, a spokesperson confirmed that the university laid off 12 staff and 2 faculty members. Another 40 to 50 open positions will not be filled. It's part of an effort to cut 10% of the operating budget. Lindenwood says enrollment and tuition deposits are down for the fall semester due to this spring's FAFSA issue. Tonight, Kansas is another step closer toward luring the Kansas City Chiefs and Royals from Missouri. Hours ago, the governor signed legislation that would help the teams pay for new stadiums, with the state covering 70% of the cost. Kansas officials began working on the legislation after Missouri voters refused to continue a sales tax to pay for a new Royals ballpark and stadium renovations for the Chiefs. Missouri officials vow both teams will remain in the state.
Hey, sweetie. How you doing? Nice to meet you.
Girl tonight, she traveled hundreds of miles for a chance to meet up with Nelly. Right now, Janet Jackson is rocking out at a packed Hollywood casino amphitheater. St. Louis's own Nelly opened up for Ms. Jackson tonight. As 5 on your side's Robert Townsend reports, there was a special moment before he hit the stage.
As long as she can remember, 9-year-old Destiny Sharon from North Carolina has been a huge Nelly fan.
He was my favorite singer so far. My mom likes listening to Hot in Here.
But Destiny has her own top Nelly song.
I just like the song Grills from him.
Got 30 down at the bottom, 30 more at the Grills? Oh, snap. I love grills. My wish is to give you a grill. How about that?
She has longed to meet the Grammy Award-winning St. Louis native, and Friday,
hey, sweetie. How you doing?
Destiny's dream came true thanks to Make-A-Wish, Missouri, and Kansas. She stepped out of a long white limo, strolled across a red carpet, and about 30 minutes later,
nice to meet you.
She finally met Nelly.
At first it made me feel nervous, but it's pretty fun.
Last year, Destiny was diagnosed with leukemia. In 2005, Nelly's 31-year-old sister, Jackie Donahue, died after a long battle with leukemia.
What's my favorite song? Well, I love them all, technically.
The famous singer and fifth graders' touching bond this night was filled with hugs, smiles, and lots of picture taking for Destiny, her mom, and her big brother.
The Make-A-Wish guys have been great. The limo driver was great. Nelly was great.
A curious Destiny also got a chance to ask Nelly a few questions before he took to the stage and opened for Janet Jackson.
How do I get over stage right? I don't think you do. I think you just, you just don't really let the people down.
This night marked many firsts for Destiny. Flying to St. Louis was her first time on an airplane. Talking to us reporters was a first. And this was her first concert.
Once in a lifetime. I mean, I don't think she'll ever forget it.
Robert Townsend.
Can I get a hug? Thank you so much.
5 on your side.
So sweet. Well, tomorrow, Destiny and her family plan to visit the St. Louis Aquarium and the zoo, and they'll be here all weekend.
We are live here at Mad Butcher in Fordyce, and there's a shooting going on.
Bullets rang out in an Arkansas grocery store, leaving 3 dead and nearly a dozen more injured. What we know about the suspected shooter tonight.
You never know, kids are kids, like they can be playing, they can slip and fall into the water.
Swimming safety is always on the minds of parents. Consumer Reports shares tips to prevent tragedy this summer.
The heat and humidity continue ramping up, plus I'll time out when we may see some rain in the 10-day forecast.
Developing tonight, 3 people are dead, at least 10 others injured in a shooting at an Arkansas grocery store. Just before noon, Arkansas State Police responded to reports of gunfire at the grocery store in Fordyce, that's south of Little Rock. An employee said a man armed with a shotgun came into the store and ended up in a shootout with police. Some people hid in a cooler to escape the gunfire.
Man, it was just good people, just at the wrong place at the wrong time. And they didn't deserve it, but I've learned something in life, man. Bad things happen to good people, and I really hate it.
2 law enforcement officers are among the injured. The suspected shooter was also hurt and was taken into custody. Right now, he has not been charged, and police are still investigating a motive. The Supreme Court upholds a federal gun control law intended to protect domestic violence victims. The justices ruled in favor of a 1994 ban today on firearms for people with restraining orders. This reverses a federal appeals court ruling that had struck down the law. President Biden praised the decision, saying that no one who has been abused should have to worry about their abuser getting a gun. We're just 35 days away from the start of the Paris 2024 Summer Olympics. Hours ago, hundreds of local kids put on their running shoes to celebrate Olympic Day at Washington University. The aspiring Olympians got the chance to run at the site of the 1904 Summer Games. Former Olympians Jackie Joyner-Kersee and Dawn Harper Nelson also made an appearance at the event. The Olympic Day celebration happens once a year, and the goal is to spread the Olympic spirit, blending sports with culture and education.
And just trying to show the next generation what's attainable, what's possible. I think you got to dream big for everything that you do. You don't ever want to give up on anything, and hopefully the intangibles of attitude, communication, effort can kind of take you over that line as well.
The U.S. Olympic track and field team trials started today, and they go until June 30th. Baldwin native Tyler Downs is moving on in the men's individual springboard at the Olympic trials. Hours ago, he finished in 4th place in the semifinal. He'll now compete in the final set for Sunday afternoon. Earlier this week, Tyler qualified for the Paris Games and the men's 3-meter synchronized dive. And you can watch the games here on 5 on Your Side starting July 26. And for more on the Olympics, just text the word Paris to 314-425-5355. It happens all too often. Summer fun turns into tragedy around the water. Drownings are increasing, which is why Consumer Reports explains it's critically important to follow basic safety precautions around pools, lakes, and the ocean. Here's Mike Bush.
Drowning is the #1 leading cause of unintentional death for children ages 1 through 4, and the rate of drowning for black children is more than twice as high as white children. Experts say that teaching children how to swim at an early age is one of the best ways to prevent drowning.
There are many free or reduced cost swimming classes for kids, and there's online water safety classes for parents or caregivers available from your local YMCA, Red Cross, or your local Parks and Rec department. These are life-saving skills.
Try to find a program that teaches water competency, both with swimming and safety skills. Elsa Abramoff enrolled her daughters in swimming lessons early on because they have a pool in their yard and live on the water.
You never know, kids are kids, like they can be playing, they can slip and fall into the water.
It's also important for adults to take water safety lessons, including CPR and basic first aid.
Whether you're in a pool, at a beach, or at a lake, designate a water watcher to watch your kids even when there's a lifeguard present. That should be their only task. They should not be reading, texting, playing games, or distracted by anything else.
Remember these rules. An adult should provide touch supervision, meaning they must be within an arm's length of infants, toddlers, and children who aren't confident swimmers. Flotation devices are not a substitute for active supervision. Kids without strong swimming skills should wear a U.S. Coast Guard approved life jacket. And because nearly 70% of drownings among young children happen during non-swim times, all pools should have a fence and a gate that locks or latches automatically.
More fun in the sun. Make sure you and your kids wear sunscreen to protect you from skin cancer. Reapply every 2 hours or after going in the water. Coppertone Water Babies Lotion SPF 50 is CR's top-rated lotion sunscreen. Let's check in with meteorologist Jim Casillo again as we head into the weekend. Those are great reminders as many people may head to the pool this weekend.
Absolutely. Or the lake, right?
Or the lake.
Yeah, you've got to really be careful out there. And it's hot, it's humid, so you've got the heat to deal with. You want to cool off, but you also want to remain safe as you get into the water. So St. Genevieve, Mitchell Cobb sent this in. Beautiful sunset, and the sunrises also have been stunning. 95 today. Now, there was more clouds to the south over the past couple of days, and 74 was that low. So both above average. Average high is 89, average low is 69, record high 99, so we didn't hit that. We're still at 86 in St. Louis at about really a south wind at 8 miles an hour. That dew point goes only higher as we get into Monday and Tuesday. As this is when the peak of that heat and humidity really get us. We haven't had a heat advisory or an excessive heat warning. The closest to us right now, Fort Wayne, Indiana. But we'll probably have one, I wouldn't doubt, on Monday and Tuesday. So here's some severe weather. Watching this front up around Nebraska. As it moves our way, we'll show you when this front comes in here, again, after Saturday, really after midnight. We're just watching showers and storms popping up, probably stronger farther north. And then as we get into the overnight hours, here's 3 a.m. So we'll watch if any of these hold together, and some of them could be strong. Most of us won't see that, but hopefully we'll get some rain. 1/4 of an inch of rain or less out of this, and the further south you go, the better chance of seeing probably not much. But north of Interstate 70, there is a small risk, a low level 1 out of 5, that we might have some strong wind with some of those cells, something we'll keep our eyes on for sure. The other thing, big story, we're talking about that heat index. So 99 for St. Louis is what it's going to feel like Saturday, so close to 100, and also Sunday. But then Monday, we ramp this up a little bit, maybe 105 or higher in some spots. You can see further east, maybe not as much, but all of this really soupy air and sticky air, steamy air is with us all the way into Tuesday. And then another front comes our way as we get into Wednesday. So midweek, we're hoping for another chance of showers and storms. And then after that, that's when we'll start to see less muggy air in here, but still about 90 for that high on Thursday. And probably Friday, doesn't look like the dew point's too bad then, but we go back up again Saturday. And as we end the month of July, or June, and we approach July, we're still in the 90s.
And still muggy?
And
still have some humidity.
Just a brief break on that later this week.
All right. Yeah. Thank you, Jim. Corey's here with sports.
Well, another former Chaminade star went for a title tonight. The Cardinals are reflecting on a special day in Alabama, and one local soccer player did something nobody has ever done before. Stick around. Sports is up next.
This 5 on Your Side Sports Report is sponsored by Telly Tire and Auto Centers, driving your way since 1942.
There's a reason the Stanley Cup is the hardest trophy to win in sports. It is an absolute grind. Matthew Tkachuk and the Panthers have found that out. They were once up 3-0 on Edmonton, but with a win in Game 6 tonight, the Oilers would force a decisive Game 7 back in Florida. The Edmonton crowd had no doubt they were going to keep Tkachuk from hoisting the cup tonight. First period, crazy good pass from Leon Draisaitl. That leads to a Warren Foegele goal. That made it 1-0, and they would keep pouring it on at home. Oilers score 5 goals. They win 5-1, and for the first time in 78 years, a team has forced a Game 7 in the Stanley Cup Final after going down 3-0. It is a rare Friday off day for the Cardinals. They'll be back at Busch Stadium tomorrow afternoon facing old friend Jordan Hicks and the Giants. But with this day off, we get more time to reflect on a truly special Thursday night at Rickwood Field. Just a top-notch production all the way around last night in Birmingham, Alabama. Started with Major League Baseball honoring a number of still-living Negro League players, including 99-year-old former Cardinal Bill Greason. The night ended with Ryan Helsley closing the door for a 6-5 Cardinals win and setting a franchise record 25th straight save. It will no doubt be a night to remember for the players, especially Cardinals shortstop Mason Wynn.
I mean, I was trying to calm myself down, just playing catch with Gorham before the game, and getting out to shortstop. I was taking some deep breaths, and just all the way around, man, it was just an emotional night. I tried to keep the nerves down, and then I saw my stepdad at the end of the game. He was shedding some tears, watery eyes, and it almost made me cry a little bit. So, yeah, man, I was just trying to embrace it. Every bit of emotion. I loved it. It was a great night.
Jordan Walker was not in Birmingham last night, but he still had a good night. Walker had 3 hits, including his 3rd home run of the season last night. The 22-year-old still has an OPS of just .728 at Memphis after being sent down.
This 5 on Your Side St. Louis City SC coverage is sponsored by Together Credit Union.
City SC gets another shot at getting back on track this week. Quick turnaround from Wednesday's 3-0 loss to Colorado as Atlanta arrives to City Park tomorrow night. You know the story by now. City has not won a game since mid-May and are sinking in the standings. But the players say their togetherness as a team hasn't gone anywhere.
It's extremely easy to be negative at this moment. But in order to be a good teammate, you got to be there to support people. You got to look yourself in the mirror and ask what you're doing to help get ourselves out of this situation. It takes 100% focus each day, taking accountability, and always moving forward.
Congrats to Coriezu's Maddie DiMaria. Today she was named the Gatorade High School Girls Soccer Player of the Year. She is the first freshman ever to win the award. Her stats this year, 30 goals, 21 assists, and a state championship for the Chargers.
It's unbelievable. It's an award that's been around, I believe, 40 years now, or close to 40 years, and I think she was the first ever freshman Girls Player of the Year, National Player of the Year. So for that to be done, it's amazing.
National is crazy. Like hearing national is just like, I don't even know what to say.
Fun Sports Plus on deck for Sunday night. Frank Cusimano sits down with Blues President and GM Doug Armstrong. I take a deep dive on Jason Tatum's St. Louis roots that helped him win a title, and we'll look back on a unique Olympic story with Jackie Joyner-Kersee. That's Sunday night at 10:30 right here on 5 on Your Side.
Ooh, that'll be a good one.
I'm looking forward to that story.
Yeah, all right. Thank you, Corey. An ice cream shop with a unique start. The popular band that traveled alongside this old trailer. Check this out. An Airstream trailer, once used by the Rolling Stones, is being used as an ice cream shop in Ohio. The idea started after the owner made a trip to Florida, where the iconic trailers sell treats. After contacting a local company with a fleet of similar vehicles, Amanda Hackleroad became owner of the trailer that was used by the Rolling Stones on tour.
Who would have ever thought that, we were just looking for, we just need an Airstream trailer. Who would have ever thought that we'd get like a trailer that was part of the Rolling Stone tours, it's really neat.
It is neat. In honor of its history, the owner opted to pay homage to the band by naming it after the popular rock group. And I love this. This isn't your typical dog show. Look at them. Today, a bunch of pups were out on Huntington Beach to ride the waves. These dogs are competing in the Western Regionals of the Purina Pro Plan Incredible Dog Challenge. This isn't just about surfing. Competitions include diving, agility, and freestyle flying disc. I love seeing these dogs surfing.
They look happy.
I know, so talented. Well, that water looks great too to cool down, because it's going to be hot this weekend.
Yeah, and be safe in that water out there. Look at this. So all the way through the 4th of July, we're still expecting hotter than average. So tonight, lows in the 70s, very warm. And again tomorrow, 98 for that high. But that real field temperature at about 100.
Okay, thanks so much for joining us. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is next.